What is good, everybody, man? Welcome back into the Blue Bloods as we continue our FCS player spotlight for the 2023 season. And we could not have this spotlight without my guy, Jaden Shirden, Monmouth running back, Walter Payton Award finalist, unanimous consensus FCS All-American, was the CAA Offensive Player of the Year last season, and had one of, I think, the most spectacular seasons in recent memory, man. Led the FCS in total rushing yards, yards per carry, rushing yards per game, and his 1,700 rushing yards ranked second in a single season in Monmouth history. Going into this year, he's seventh in program history in career rushing yards, 16 career touchdowns, and 10 career rushing touchdowns of at least 50 yards. Jaden, man, appreciate you hopping on the show.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Hey man, I got the pleasure to meet you over in Texas, last year for the Walter Payton Award ceremony. We'll get into, I'm sure that's a goal to return to that ceremony in 2023, but I want to go back because you had such an interesting journey to Monmouth. You came out of St. Joseph's where you ran for over 5,500 yards, which I think is top 15 in state history in Connecticut. You had over 107 career touchdowns. You were a player of the year, two-time all-conference, but you decided to go to Cheshire Academy, which is like a postgraduate place before college. Talk a little bit about why you made that decision.
Basically, I say out of St. Joe's, I had a couple offers, like small schools. I wanted to bet on myself and see, if I could get the FBS ones. And around that time, that's when COVID hit. So it was like a dead period, and a lot of those schools couldn't come down to see us run. So once I post-grad, Monmouth, which they were recruiting me towards the end of my senior year, but that recruiting class filled up, so they couldn't, they weren't able to offer me. But as soon as I post-grad, they offered me, and I basically had a couple CAA offers. And then after that, after the COVID season at Cheshire, I think I played like 2 games. That's the games we were allowed. I decided to go to Monmouth.
For you, how difficult was that spring season? Because since you played in those 2 games, you weren't eligible to play in the spring season. Was it tough for you to have to sit out that spring season, man, and just be on the sidelines? Or what was the experience?
Actually, the experience was, to me, I think it was a great experience. I got to see everything, and I got to learn and adapt to, just being a college athlete, the school, and also with football. And I just got to sit back and watch, and just watch my team play. And that year, they ended up winning the Big South championship that spring season. So it was actually, to me, it was actually fun. I'm not gonna lie.
I can only imagine, man. But also looking at your development, your dad Dwayne was one of the greatest running backs in his collegiate history, man. When you look at just your development, man, how impactful has he been in your development as a running back throughout high school and your collegiate career?
Really, my whole life, not just high school and college, just really my whole life. Even now, he'll say, and it's true that I'm better than him, but I still will look at his stuff just to learn, and he'll still give me his tips here and there. More so in high school or growing up, he'll talk a little more, but now, he just lets me be, and then he'll give a pointer here and there.
I can only imagine how, interesting that dynamic was, especially now that you've had that breakout season, which is what I want to get to. You set out the spring, you've had a solid freshman season in 2021. This past season, I mean, I don't think I've seen a bullet point list on someone's player profile as long as you have on your Monmouth profile, where you won pretty much every award you could. You led the country in rushing, like I said. What clicked this season for you?
Honestly, pretty much from that Fordham game, that was it. Everything just started clicking, and honestly, nothing but God, my offensive line, and really the whole offense around it, and we were just just rolling. It was just kind of a journey and very competitive every week. I was basically competing with myself. How many yards can I keep going? Also, the top defense that we were playing. Obviously they're going to talk. Obviously, I'm on everybody's wanted list. So it was more so kind of fun. So that's what made me keep going.
I think with Monmouth, it was so interesting because at one point you had yourself, Jawan Fari, Owen Wright, all in that running back room. What was the dynamic like in terms of splitting carries and just the chemistry in that room overall with so many talented guys?
Everybody knew their role and everybody knew what they had to do, and it was just really fun to be around. Shout out to Coach Sam Dorsett. He does a great job with us, great coach, and we just gathered around each other and just knew how to play off our game.
When I think I know you talked about it in the off season on another platform, but we saw some guys, including my guy Tony Musket, decide to enter the transfer portal and explore other options.
Mhm.
What was it about Monmouth and the culture there where you didn't want to go explore the transfer portal? You knew exactly where you wanted to stay.
Um, Honestly, I mean, it wasn't something in my heart to get up and leave. Not only that, I had a great year, but also I feel like I need to capitalize it again. Granted, you have a great year. Most cats, they get up and leave, but that's them. That's the opportunity, and good for them. But honestly, it's not something I want to do. And if Tariq Cohen can do it and Chase Edmonds can do it, then maybe Jaden Shirden can.
And that's a fact. The list of running backs, especially in the 2000s, I think you could throw James Robinson in there as
Yeah.
well, coming out of the FCS. I mean, there's a lot of great guys, and I think Pierre Strong from South Dakota State's playing with the Patriots now, so the list is on and on. Man, I commend you for that for sure. You mentioned his name just a minute ago. Running back coach Sam Dorsett. I think anyone who hears that name knows the track record in terms of his ability to develop running backs.
Mhm.
What is your relationship like with him, and what makes him such a successful running back coach?
He kind of relates to each player based off like everybody has a relationship with him in the room. Um, you know, whether it's for me, how I bond with him is through music. We just sing songs or rap songs together, and we just sit there and talk, and it's just a great relationship. There's a time to be funny, and there's a time to be serious, and from a coaching point, you see what he's talking about in the film room, breaking down everything. And if you don't see it on on tape and stuff, or see it on the film, you just look for it and keep in mind. And then once you do it, you like, oh, I know what he's talking about.
You have a really, really strong shot at leaving Monmouth as the all-time leading rusher, especially if you finish out your last 2 seasons there.
Mhm.
What would that mean to you? And just put it in perspective for me, what that would mean for you to graduate as the all-time leading rusher in Monmouth school history?
It actually would mean a lot because believe it or not, you mentioned earlier, how many yards I ran in high school. You know, I got the most touchdowns and most points. But I'm second in all time rushing at high school, St. Joe's. So to be actually number one in college actually means a lot. Not too many backs can say that they're all time leader rusher. So it would be something.
No, especially because if I'm not mistaken, I think you ran for 5,500, which would actually, if I'm not mistaken, almost be the record at Monmouth. So it'd be two
Yeah,
back to
it would
back
be
5,000
absolutely.
career. That's just crazy to me. But you've achieved so much already in just 2 seasons. What are your goals for 2023 and how to plan to further your career or your legacy at the collegiate level?
Honestly, just to take it up a notch and take another level. Um, you know, how confident can I get, and just challenge myself to be the best in everything.
And I know you're always pushing yourself, man. And I see it in other interviews. I see it just talking to you. What's one thing that you wanted to improve on this all season going into 2023?
Honestly, just becoming a all complete, like a complete back, having the whole thing all together, just working on everything, and even running the ball, just working on little things that I may not do or things I can improve.
I want to take a step back. I love this question because it's so interesting to hear everyone's perspective. But I want you to compare true freshman Jaden Shirden to the guy I'm talking to now. What's the single biggest developmental change in your game that you've seen?
Not being too hard on yourself. I mean, that was really the main thing. I'm really hard on myself, but I had to learn to just next play, forget about it, and just move on. And basically, I'll tell them that just keep going, that you're gonna be good.
Man, I love that. And before we shift to some quick hitters, man, I want to go back just real quick to just being a Walter Payton Award finalist, being in that top three, getting to attend the ceremony. What was that experience, that journey like for you? And just how cool was it to be able to represent Monmouth and your family at that
Um,
event?
it was great, honestly. Like you said, to represent my family and Monmouth, but not only that, being the only running back there, I think that is really impressive. And also, I think the last running back to win it was in '03, I think.
Mhm.
And also Brian Westbrook won it, and a couple other running backs have won it. So just to be in that category with them, means a lot to me.
Yeah, I think when you look at just the history of the running back position, uh, you got to be. I mean, you're a legend at the FCS just to even be a finalist for that. Because let's just be honest, just like the NFL MVP, the Heisman, it's kind of become a
Mhm.
quarterback award. So, like you said, it's a huge honor to be there for you. Though, shifting to some quick hitters,
Mhm.
when you look at your game, is there a current or former NFL running back that you feel like your game models the most?
Um, well, people say Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders is one of my favorite players all time. Um, I'm an old school guy, so I go off a lot of former players. I mean, and players now, not so much. I do like players now, but I go with more so old school guys. When I'm in between the tackles, sometimes I'll say Emmitt Smith, but like a faster version. And then when I burst out to the scene like a Tony Dorsett.
Ooh, I like all those comparisons on that one, man. But going back to you, probably this probably come from your true freshman year. What was your welcome to college moment on the field?
Honestly, it happened. I ain't gonna say who hit me, but it happened spring going into the season I just had. It was the spring game, and I called a pass and I made a move, and I was in a bad spot, and I got caught. I mean, even though after the freshman year, that was really the welcome. You know, really,
That
I was
that
already in it though.
that open field can be dangerous, man,
I
especially
was going
with some
toward
of
the
these.
sideline. That's the thing,
Ooh,
and I ain't lower my shoulder in time.
mm.
Yeah, that was.
That hey, at least it happened in spring because some of the guys get on here and like, man, we were playing at Tennessee in front of 100,000 people, and I got called on the sideline. So at least it was just free practice, man. That
Mhm.
at least
Yeah.
that's the positive. But looking at your game, man, I know running backs, you don't have that like same one-on-one match like an O line D line has. But how big of a trash talker are you in between those white lines?
I mean, believe it or not, I don't. I'm really quiet, but if you say stuff, I'm gonna say something back. Like, but it's not to a crazy extent. It's like something corny or something funny, and they'll start laughing. And then, or if I'm actually like going off, I actually say, "Look, like I'm tearing y'all up," But I don't say nothing crazy though.
It must be kinda hard when you got 200 and, like, 2 touchdowns and someone says something, it's like, "Dude, just look at this like, I'm
Yeah,
good."
like I just laugh or but I don't pay attention to it. I try not to.
I love it, man. So, one-on-one in the hole, man, or in the open field, it's you and a linebacker. What's the number one mistake that linebacker can make against you?
Uh, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a mistake. I mean, he could he could tag me anyway, but I'm just gonna react off it. That's all I'm gonna say. Either you see my tape. I'm not gonna explain anything. 'Cause, I know that people gonna be watching and stuff. Oh, he gonna write notes. I'm not gonna do all
Uh,
that. But
I love it. He said, "Man, listen, these are trade secrets. You're gonna have to pay a lot of money to get to
yeah,
get the cheat
mhm.
codes to that." I love it, man. That was an amazing answer. So, to give a little bit of credit, man, looking at your collegiate career, who are one or two of the best defensive players that you've ever gotten to face one on one?
um, for my career, honestly, I will say honestly, I don't have anybody as far as that I played against that I can remember. But I look forward to playing a couple people in my conference. So those are the two people, William Mary, uh, linebacker, and New Hampshire DN. New Hampshire game dip. I was out there, but I ain't really have the ball in my hands, so I can't really say anything about that. So I just look forward to playing, against them. So
I love how you paid attention to that. You're like, man, I know these are the guys that they got the defensive guys where that's going
Yeah.
to be a statement for the because you got what John Pius is my guy over at William and Mary at linebacker. They also got Nate Lynn, an All American D lineman, and then of course you
Mhm.
got Josiah, and then I want to say Dylan Ruiz is the other one in New Hampshire. So I know you
Mhm.
definitely got both of those games circled. But man, shifting a little bit towards you as a prospect, you have a really, really good shot to be the next FCS running back to hear their name called in the NFL draft whenever you decide to declare. What would it mean to you to hear your name mentioned with the guys you mentioned earlier, the James Robinsons, the Brian Westbrooks, as great FCS running backs to make it to the next level?
From a FCS standpoint, hopefully another FCS back can, look at me and say, yo, I can make it. All I gotta do is work hard, and if they got the talent, they believe in their talent and their ability. For me, it'll be a dream come true. That's something I wrote down since I was a little boy, so it'll really also make my family happy as well, and just people around me. Just build off that.
If an NFL franchise comes to you and asks what they're going to get in Jaden Shirden if they select you in one of the upcoming NFL drafts, man, what do you tell them?
You're gonna get a hard worker. You're gonna get a leader that leads by example, and you're gonna get a game changer. Honestly.
And then the final man, two questions really centers around Monmouth going into next season. I know I know team goals are huge, man, because you got all your personal goals, but I know for you it's all about winning. What has been the energy surrounding the program this spring in terms of what you got about that chase of a conference championship?
Basically, taking one day at a time, and also one game. I know we play Florida Atlantic, so that's not the we gotta get ready for Florida Atlantic. We trying to get ready for everybody. We want to be great for everybody. So just really just being great every day, and I think this team's gonna be a lot better, and I'm looking forward to it.
For you, how much does it mean to you not only to graduate as the career all-time leading rusher, FCS All-American, Walter Payton Award,
Mhm.
what would it mean to get that CAA championship ring for Monmouth just in general, get that first ring and set that precedent of this is a championship program?
I mean, for me, it really based on how based on how I play and stuff. You can say that I'm a winner, and you would say that I helped my team win a championship. So nobody can take that away from me. So but also it helped with the awards and stuff. But from a team's standpoint, it will help the program even more, and
Man,
just be happy.
I love it, man. You guys got so many. You had a lot of guys. When I look at y'all's roster, I see a lot of GRs on that roster, graduate guys who
Mhm.
decided to come back, who are sticking around. So I know it's going to be a big season, man. But Jaden, I can't thank you enough for making some time for this show, man. Hopping on the platform, but this is all about player promotion, man. Let people know where they can follow your journey on social media.
Oh yeah, you could. I'm on Twitter. You see the Twitter handle, and Instagram, JRock20, and you can also support my merch. I have a lot of nice shirts and hats. It's in my link, Instagram bio, Jaden Shirden fan art. So check that out. And yeah,
Man, I appreciate you guys. The link for all the Jaden's merch will be in the bio of this video and the recording, man. So make sure to go cop some merch. I know I'm going to get me a shirt, man, to rock on the channel. Jaden, man, I appreciate you again. I definitely got to get up to Monmouth for a game this year, man. Get to see you
yeah,
guys in person.
I'm
But
ready.
guys, for Jaden, for myself, and for the Blue Bloods, man, we are out for right now.